Yo, 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 welcome back to another video. It's your boy Corey the Man. I forgot, bro. I forgot to put my gloves on, bro. I'm gonna put them on after. Alright, let's get right into this video. I got it queued up already. Well, I just gotta click it. Here we go. I'm gonna hold off.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Who said that?
Let's see what you can do. Wow, amazing, love, stunning. I'm obsessed.
Rhea Ripley's music hit to start Raw. So I was like, we should go and see what those lyrics are. So it goes, this is my brutality. I eat, sleep, bleed. The demons in your dreams. I eat, sleep, bleed. That is really weird. Also, hello, my friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Ups and Downs, because we had yet another episode of Monday Night Raw, and as we know, this will continue until one of us drops dead. Didn't know that, did you? That's the meta storyline of Ups and Downs. Either WWE dies first, or I die first. We will see who the real chicken is. What? Let's up those down. Today, Dominic and JD McDonagh were out with her as well. It was a bit weird because I thought she hated JD.
JD.
And as always, she was all like, "Whoa, we run the Judgment Day and we're going to take over Raw." Something like that. The big tease, however, was aimed at this weekend when we are getting Crown Jewel, because Rhea was all, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. One of them is going to have to make a choice and maybe join our ranks. Maybe, just maybe, that person will be the champ. She then also remembered that she too has a match, and even though she is going to fight 4 opponents, she will definitely win. A good attitude. Somebody was always going to interrupt because it was the opening Raw promo, and even though nobody said his name, out came Sami Zayn. Now, one, that rhymes, so it must have been a good move. And two, I thought about this. I suppose he doesn't like Mammy being on top. He totally went pure fire here, though, because he was like, oh man, the Judgment Day thinks they can rule everything due to their power. But that's why I will fight, and I will fight, and I will fight, and you can basically call me the Resistance. But he's even happy to take them on 5-on-1. It's like, Sammy, that is a terrible idea. You just make a phone call to someone.
Right.
I'm sure they'll, like,
Yeah.
come out and help you. I mean, it's wrestling. All you have to do is say their name and boop, they appear. Ripley then murked him off and said, we don't even need to worry about the numbers because even if you took on Damian Priest, you would lose. So that became our main event. It was a little bit like, I swear I've seen this 32,567 times before. Dom then thought they should just beat him up right now when, surprise, surprise, Ricochet was here to help Sami Zayn out. I was like, see? I told you. This was basically to get to our first match, though, because it was going to be Ricky taking on the Condom. That was just super duper whooper fun. Now the best part, and we are actually going to get into this later, is that Dominic is such a piece of shit, he can win in the most ridiculous of ways, and that just makes you hate him even more, but he'll smile and go, man, I definitely won clean, and then you get even more mad. So I don't know who came up with this, but he continues to have a banner year. I mean, he is just such a wonderful buffoon, and of course, as soon as Ricochet started to light the place up, JD McDonagh was on the outside, and he cast Distraction, which is when Dom Dom went for the 619, but he missed. We've talked about this. On attempt number 1, the 619 never hits. Ricochet then came back with the ultimate comeback move of 2023, the crossbody. So Mysterio raked his eyes. So it actually didn't help him at all. He went for the splash of the frogs. Ricochet got his knees up. This opened the door for Rick, and he went to climb Tina the turnbuckle. This is when JD McDonagh was here and Rhea Ripley was here. The referee was kind of spinning around going, I don't know what to do. But Dominic Mysterio did, and he hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up, and he held the tights. 1, 2, 3. So I was absolutely losing it because wrestling does this way too much. But again, Dominic is the asterisk here. He could totally get away with it. We made sure Ricochet got hit as well because he beat everybody up after this until Rhea Ripley made the save. So bring it down, surprise roll-up counter. It goes up by 1. This is also going to get an up. Mostly, because I really, really like Dominic Mysterio. We then got our first video package for the evening, and my word, did WWE go crazy with these. Because we had DIY, then it was Raquel Rodriguez who was talking like somebody had turned her into a robot, which is so unfair. When we had another for the Creed brothers, because yeah, they've been called up to the main roster. It's why this was well timed too, because they were taking on the Alpha Academy. And man, this was an absolute joy. Because we all know the deal with Chad Gable and Otis, but these Creeds, I mean, they just have this explosive energy where you're a bit like, I don't know what they're going to do. but the commentators put them over so strong, and they put in such a good performance here, I kind of think they're made in one evening. They did.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? Buckle up! The new adventures of Ed and Dex starts now!
I had to take these gloves off. They never work, bro. They never work.
Starts now!
He gets suplexed out the ring early on as Chad started to work on their ankles. But that's
Never
when
take these
Brutus
gloves off.
came back with a Samoan drop. I did my research. He's not even Samoan, so it was just a drop. It didn't work as Otis got in there and he hit that big old caterpillar, but that's where it happened. Julius entered the ring, and despite being a very large man, he was doing standing shooting star presses and standing moonsaults. And as you do when you watch him on NXT, you just look at him like, man, something's going on here. This ain't right. Otis was then back with the world's strongest slam, but Jules broke that up with a 450. And I guess Gable felt left out because he did a moonsault into the pile. I just started clapping. Top stuff. Ivy Nile was also out with the Creeds, and that's where we got some kind of distraction. Because she jumped up on the ring apron, and then Maxine Dupree was like, nah, you shouldn't be doing that. When Tozawa was here, because of course he's joined the Alpha Academy, and Ivy was like, you're in my way, so she gave him a suplex. I was like, damn it, what about the Tozawa trade? So I suppose it felt a bit like Alpha Academy couldn't handle this, which is when, of course, Julius put Otis on his shoulders in a tremendous test of strength. Brutus came off the top rope with the Brutus bomb, whatever the hell we're calling it.
Brutus
and they
bomb.
got the 1, 2, 3. I was like, damn. That was very well done. They also shook hands afterwards, so they are all meant to be good guys, but I presume we'll change that soon. And this is definitely getting it up. What a flipping debut. Finn Balor and Damian Priest were then backstage in their locker room when somebody knocked on the door, and it was the New Day, and they were dressed up as the Judgment Day, because of course it's Halloween. And it was also here when I was like, wait a minute, there are a lot of day groups in the WWE. I realised there was just 2. It's also why I love Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, because they're always just having such a good time. As is this bad guy version of Finn Balor, because they had the candy, but because he was so upset with them, rather than pass it out, he just started taking it back, which upset Kofi. So he was like, man, let's just go to the next house. 5 stars. This led to the rest of the Judgment Day arriving, and they're mad at Ricochet. Although Damien was like, wait a minute, what the flub is going on? We're not meant to have a leader here, and you, Ripley, are going out there and putting me in matches. Now, Rhea actually had an answer for this. He was like, man, have you forgotten? You're the punisher of the group, so you have to go out there and punish. Of course, this is a reference to his past. I'm a nerd, so I like it. So he basically got talked into it because everyone else was like, yeah, Damien, you can do it. But you can see what's happening here. Very soon, he's probably going to be kicked out of the group. Be a sad panda. We then got another video after this, and this time it was Nia Jax telling us she was going to win at Crown Jewel. And I was like, well, Raquel Rodriguez just told me she was going to win, so somebody is lying. And we got a very interesting Miz TV.
I
His
think
guest
there's
was
not
meant
gonna
to
be
be
a new
Gunther, who
champion.
didn't show.
Really
Instead,
just
out
gonna
came
change.
Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci.
And maybe-
the Miz was like,
maybe we get Raquel
"You two are a
versus
couple
Rhea
of fools."
1-on-1.
Ludwig didn't hold back, though, and he was all
Somewhere
like this. You
down
are
the
everything
line.
that is wrong with the WWE, and you're a clown, which is when Doink turned up. Now, that didn't happen, but that should be a law. If somebody mentions a clown, up pop Doink. Miz then fired back by saying, well, at least I've never been a sidekick, because look at this Giovanni Vinci guy. I mean, he is nothing but a third wheel. I was like, it's true. Giovanni then tried to act like, yeah, well, man, you're like the third wheel, or the sidekick to your wife. I was like, that is the worst insult I've ever heard in my life. It's basically saying, oh, man, Miz, you married a really attractive woman. Oh, yeah, sucks to be here. Miz then won this round because he was astonished that Giovanni Vinci actually speaks, because he never speaks. When Vinci was all like, yeah, I am allowed to talk, Ludwig Kaiser told him to shut up. Actually made me laugh. Gunther then finally had enough, because let's face it, these two weren't doing much of anything. So
He
he
was like,
stormed
"I
out.
speak when I
And he
wanna
basically had the same message.
And he said,
Miz,
"You
are
speak when I tell you."
disrespectful, and you absolutely suck. Miz's retort was to be like, well, I tell you, when I had an invisible John Cena on my show, that was more entertaining than you. Once again, I was a bit like, that doesn't hit that insult. Because I watch Gunther in banger after banger every single week, and that makes him entertaining. My eyes don't lie. Gunther then kind of tied that in because he was like, yeah, all you do is be a silly Billy. When The Miz was like, no, I can be serious. I was serious when I beat Randy Orton for the WWE title, and I was serious when I main evented WrestleMania with John Cena. My hand went up again. I was like, Miz, that was 2011. Also, if somebody goes and watches those clips, well, it's basically John Cena versus The Rock. You kind of just there. He also claimed that it was he who made the Intercontinental title prestigious again, and Gunther basically went, that's not true. And again, he's right. Nobody has done a better job than the ring general. Gunther then called him a really good
I don't
sports
know about that. I
entertainer,
think
and that
the
was
Miz
about it.
was
When Ludwig got a
very
pumpkin
good,
that had the
very
Miz's
entertaining.
logo like
We
carved
just didn't
into
give him
it,
a longer
and he
reign.
threw it on the floor. Am I meant to be upset that you smashed a pumpkin? Although you got to give credit where credit is due. All the fans went, oh. I guess they'd never seen a pumpkin killed. It really upset the Miz for some reason, so he attacked Imperium, which was dumb because there's 3 of them. So eventually he did have to scarp her. And I just have to admit this. Look, I don't mind if you want to give the Miz a babyface run. It probably is time. But this came out of nowhere, and essentially we were saying, because Gunther is the bad guy, you should accept Miz as the good guy. I was like, no. So we've just
With the Wells Fargo
That's
Active
good.
Cash Card, you
Oh,
earn
my.
2% cash back
I
on
like
what you
it.
want, like first date plans and need,
No. Just my shoe.
like maybe shoes without laces. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
Nah, you gotta leave her after that.
Get 8 of KFC's new hot and
you-
spicy
I'ma
wings
get on the
for
ground.
only
That's like
$4.99.
frozen. You like,
just
no,
pulled the trigger a
no,
little bit too
don't
far,
do it.
especially
I'm
because
like,
like after this, the Miz was complaining to Adam
Get you a Uber.
Pearce,
I'm not
and
taking
he
you
just
home.
came across.
Home. You don't
Such
know
a
me.
damn heel. He also wanted a shot at the Intercontinental Championship, and Adam was all like, well, no, I'm sorry. I can't just give it to you. I melted down. I was like, you give title shots to everybody. We've talked about this. GTS. That's all a wrestler has to say. Geese title shot. And it happened. Bronson Reed then walked in, which was also bizarre because he must have been stood right off camera watching this. And here's the deal. Those 2 are going to fight, and the winner will become the #1 contender for the IC title. So I have no issue with all the bodies being involved, but in terms of how we did set this up, the performances were good, but it made
I
no
don't
sense.
think this should be a
Plus
match.
equals potato.
Who would you have?
As Imperium were already in the ring too, we then did get those guys versus
Make
DIY.
Miz or Bronson
Bloody
week.
great. I mean, for starters, it was Johnny
That's like
Gargano and
this
Tommaso
drag.
Ciampa finally back
I
as a
could
team.
get behind
Had
that,
such good
maybe.
chemistry. Although Ludwig was doing that thing to begin with. When they wanted to make a tag, he would grab the other guy, pull them off the apron, be like, now you get nothing. It didn't really work because Gargano then DDT'd Vinci and he got the hot tag to Ciampa, who got in there, and he must have been inspired by what he just saw because he was doing reverse DDTs. 1, 2, ooh. It was just so damn smooth too, like my bald head, and my intrigue gland was going crazy here. And I was like, well, like, DIY should win, but it is WWE. And actually, they did right by them. Because Ludwig Kaiser went for a flying nothing when Johnny Gargano super kicked him in the air, and then Vinci went for a moonsault, and Ciampa was like, nope, and he got out of the way. When they did their meet in the middle finish, and they got the 1, 2, 3. And I gave it a beat, and I was like, yep, there it is. I am happy. Now I do fear for Imperium, because Gunther is going to kill them. This was just a good wrestling match. And speaking of good stuff, we then had another one of these Shinsuke
I think I
Nakamura
cleaned out
videos.
after.
Everybody's going crazy. Because given things that we are chatting about later, everybody
I
has
did watch some
decided
stuff
that
online.
CM Punk may be at Survivor Series. And what
Instagram.
Shinsuke is doing here is basically calling out a mysterious figure. But make sure you go away for a few seconds if you don't want spoilers. The rumor mill is suggesting that Randy Orton could be coming back soon. Well, that one makes much more sense to me. We don't know, though, and as ever, make sure you have your fun. Go speculation crazy, because that's what wrestling is all about. When I search my feelings, they say no. Although, this version of Shinsuke Man, the absolute best. The videos then kept on coming, because we had one for Candice LeRae. When we cut out of this, Michael Cole called her Candice Michelle. Wade Barrett just murdered him. That was really fun. But they got a Xia Li video package as well. This totally confused me. Because now I was like,
Oh, I was
"Ooh,
looking
make
at the
it
wrong-
cheerful, like this. Vote for
I was
me!
looking at it
Vote
the
for
wrong
me!
way. I thought it was
Vote for me!
Spider-Man.
Oh, well, we voted. It also led to Candice versus Xia.
Macho Man
I
thing,
understand
but
this.
it wasn't.
At least we got some video packages. I'm not sure if this is meant to tie into something that did happen in NXT years ago, but Xia Li hit her roundhouse kick finish, and Candice took this, and she totally passed out like she had been done. And this was definitely storyline, because later on we saw a bunch of people around her going, Candice LeRae, we hope you're okay. And the referee looked at LeRae and was like, nah, she locked out, man. I gotta call the match. Huh. Either way, the fact it only went 2 minutes and didn't serve anybody, though, like I don't think Xia Li is a badass now, because this was presented like it was a bit of a mistake. Also, she says some really strange things to Becky Lynch later, which we will discuss.
Maybe Xia Li is now
Maybe
getting
it
her
down.
run.
Personally, don't get it. Jey Uso then found
Maybe.
Sami Zayn
I
and
don't
was all
know.
like, man, your promo
I hope-
early
I
got
hope
me really
she is.
fired up. When Jackie Redmond was here, she basically went, yeah, Sam, I don't want to talk to you. You should go away. And he did. She didn't want to talk to Uso about the Judgment Day, though, and Jey was all like, man, it's going to be okay, because Cody Rhodes is going to deal with Damian Priest, and Sami Zayn is going to deal with anybody he has to deal with, and then maybe me and Cody can become the tag team champions again. Now, that's probably not going to happen, but what did is we got a Shayna Baszler video package. By this point, I was like, man, I don't need any more of these. And then I got proven wrong instantly, because we had yet another one for Drew McIntyre. But flood me sideways, this was fire. Because the whole idea was Drew going back to the Performance Center and being like, well, here it is. When I did win the WWE title at WrestleMania from Brock Lesnar, but as we all know, this was my dream, and I had to do it in front of nobody, because of course we had the stupid pandemic. Therefore, when he did return to the UK to fight Roman Reigns and was about to win the championship and got screwed over by the Bloodline, well, once again, he was stabbed, metaphorically, right in the face. And therefore, he can never forgive these guys. I was like, damn, Drew, you're 100% right. So now the only way to get redemption is to beat Seth Rollins and become the world champion.
They're gonna forgive each other at
This
the
is so damn good. When Drew
WrestleMania
McIntyre goes
75.
heel, he's actually going to have great justification,
the-
and
to
this
the
proved
whole
it.
thing.
It is getting an up, and it goes like 3 minutes. You should watch it. So
Okay.
It's a taste of all the days
So we
not
start.
to miss.
I can't remember this video. Why did I get up? Please skip the video.
Werther's Original Caramels. Discover the original fall flavor.
Zoe Stark then also got a video. I was losing my mind. I was like, please, please, no more. When Seth Rollins came out to the ring, bam. And he was going to face JD McDonough, but before that, he did want to address
McDonough.
that Drew McIntyre.
Bro, you're UK. Why you keep
"Ah,
pronouncing his name?
boo-hoo, whoop-de-doo. You had a sad time, did ya? Well, maybe you should get over it. Now, he also dropped the line twice, go cry me a river, which, yes, ties into the Jack Perry and CM Punk stuff, so go crazy. Once again, you're allowed to. But ultimately, he was like, everyone goes through hardships. Everybody goes through struggles. I did too, and some people have it way worse
Please
than
don't tell
you.
me.
So maybe you should stop
There
your
is one
bitching
of the
and get
other
on with it.
guys.
You also mentioned Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn, who had gone through the same mire, but they hadn't let it stop them, which is why now at Crown Jewel, he's going to beat Drew McIntyre and teach him a lesson. Now, this is doubly good because, of course, now nobody is actually blaming the Bloodline, and it is their fault, which allows the Scottish Warrior to get even more mad. And I assume Rollins was going to say more stuff, but instead, JD McDonough attacked him from behind. I was like, bro, that is not going to work out well for you. It did for me, though, because they had a really entertaining match with McDonough doing headbutts and Spanish flies, and Seth got a bit annoyed. Gave him this crazy buckle bomb. Damian Priest must have been annoyed that everybody was talking about him, but nobody was doing it to his face, so he walked out, which of course caused distraction. But ultimately, didn't help JD McDonough at all. I mean, he was able to avoid the splash of the frogs and hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. But that was the issue here. Did anybody think McDonough was actually going to beat Seth Rollins? Of course they didn't. All he did as well was charge Seth up, and he hit the pedigree, and he hit the curb stomp, and he got the 1, 2, 3. And he got in Damo's face. He was like, oh man, you got a briefcase, do you? Maybe you should use it. And Priest was like, haha, maybe you'll regret those words. So I like that a lot because it does tease that maybe come the weekend he will cash in. I actually think he'll wait till 2024. But Ricochet was then upset with Adam Pearce because he was like, man, Dominic keeps being an asshole and no one's doing anything. When Adam went, I'll tell you what, I'll put you in that number 1 contendership match for the Intercontinental title. And perfectly justifiably, Ricochet was like, well,
maybe
that's
he
great, but it doesn't help my Dominic.
And then Rhea
at
gets
all.
him
That really
another
made me
match.
laugh as what came next, because as soon as he left, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven walked in, and they were
ain't
dressed
gonna lie,
up for
I thought this
Halloween
was,
as the Heart Foundation.
new
There'll be a
people.
picture on the screen right
New,
now. Look at it. That is
NXT
absolutely tremendous.
superstar
Pierce told them to
debut.
flub off because Chelsea
Did not
has a
look,
match to
and I
get
was like,
ready
ah, that's
for.
Chelsea.
When Valhalla and Ivar walked in, and they too won a shot at the Intercontinental title. Now I melted down here because I was like, wait a minute. Gunther versus Ivar, or big men slapping man meat, one of which is a Viking? Give it to me. We also just had a bunch of interviews on this Raw, because next up, it was Becky Lynch. Now, I can only presume her next feud is going to be with Roman Reigns. She was all like, look, 1, I'm very sad not to be the NXT champion anymore. 2, I'm happy that Valkyria has got it because she's so damn passionate. And 3, I defended that title in such a short space of time, more than Roman has all year. I was like, there you go, book it, Paul. Xia Li then walked in. You only lost the title because you didn't want to face me. So I was like, right, that didn't make sense,
Crazy.
number 1. And then Becky was like, well, let's fight right now.
Wasn't even
Xia Li went, no,
50
we'll fight on
days.
my time. That doesn't make sense.
That means-
Number 2. She has been doing this for weeks. It's like someone saying, hey, can I have a gift? And you give them a gift. You're like, why did you give me a gift? It's like, I can't handle it anymore. What exactly do you want? So this was totally mad. And speaking of mad, it was then
Ain't going
time
on.
for our trick or treat fight. Now look, WWE loves doing this.
No,
They've
and
done these for
she is the
years. They're
first
always so wacky.
tiny form.
So if you had any other expectations for this, Or dare I say, the problem is you. It was also Chelsea Green versus Natalya, and you do feel like you're watching this on drugs. At one point, Chelsea pulled a pumpkin off of Alan the announce table, and Nikki Cross was just there. Now, she's doing this lobotomized gimmick. So many questions. One, how did she get there? And two, what does somebody think if they'd ever watched wrestling before? All of a sudden, there's this disembodied head. They're just staring. Got even more strange, because right after this, there was a power bomb onto some candy. When Piper Niven jumped up on the apron. Chelsea was going to hit Natalya with a pie. She missed, so she pied Piper Niven. And it didn't help, because Natalya then missed hitting Chelsea Green. She hit Piper instead, so Chelsea hit the Unprettier, and she got the 1, 2, 3. I was dying. I was laughing so much. I was like, that was utter nonsense. But once again, it made me feel good. Not everything has to be serious. The Miz was right. Give it there. Amazingly, we then did get a Rhea Ripley video package. I was like, well, we didn't need that one. She's already cut a promo. So I went back like a nerd and counted. And in a 3-hour show, we got 10 video packages on one episode of Raw. Somebody got carried away with an edit. We also then learned that next week it is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Tozawa, so the Tozawa train is off and running. Well, we got to our main event, and it ended in a DQ. Of course it did. I mean, it was Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn, and it does tie into the story, because if you keep going DQ, disqualification, it justifies War Games. We also have to deal with the law of diminishing returns, and I watched this, and I just thought to myself, I didn't need a DQ here. We could have done anything else. WWE has just done too many, and in that sense, down. Dominic and Finn just randomly ran out at 1.2 and tried to get Sami Zayn, and the referee couldn't handle this at all, especially because Jey Uso was then out here. He was tonking everyone when he got in the ring. He just hit a super kick onto Damian Priest. That is a blatant disqualification. What the flub was he thinking? There's also this bit as well when Priest hit the Reckoning, which is a move he stopped doing when Cody Rhodes came back to WWE, because it is just the Crossroads. And the commentators went crazy here going, oh, he's sending a message to Cody. I was like, why don't you just write him a text? It also meant that our baby faces were screwed because the entire Judgment Day were here, which meant somebody had to come and make the save. And who was it? Cody Rhodes. He went after Priest as Sammy and Jay did a bunch of dives onto everyone. When poor JD McDonough had to take everybody's finisher, including the Crossroads, onto Alan the announce table. Like once it didn't work, the fans told us to do it again. So Sami Zayn encouraged Cody to do it again. He did it again, and JD went right into the table and bounced off of it. I was like, this poor guy. So even the table is now mugging off JD when Cody actually cut a promo, which is an interesting way to finish Raw. He was like, hey, Damien, you are nothing but a walk behind. Because you walk behind Rhea, you walk behind Finn, and you even walk behind Dominic. Once again, he's such a good character. Everybody went, oh, no, you didn't. It all ties into Saturday because, of course, Cody Rhodes will beat Damian Priest, and that probably will happen.
Somebody got
to all right. Set up Crown Jewel pretty well. I mean, Raw maybe needs a little bit of injection of something, but we'll probably get that as we head to the
how that story going?
Giving it an up. Which brought us to the end of Raw, which I'm also going to give an up because, yeah, it was an all right show. Maybe not as good as it has been, but let's get to next Monday and see what WWE does have planned. Now, please do leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of the show. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Please do click the video on the screen for ups and downs for AEW Collision and support.
We don't watch AEW. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Y'all stay tuned.